and a good evening all. I hope you're well, staying safe, and had a good few weeks. I'm your happy little host. Oh, hold on, we've got a bit of feedback. That's what you get for testing the sound. I tell you what, this live malarkey is good fun. But either way, it is I, your happy little host today, Alan Crooks, the only person in White Dragon, so I'm the owner, minion, and everything else in between. So thank you for popping along. It's good to be back. You'll probably notice the bouffon is gone, which is a nice welcoming thing to have happened. I think that's the longest my hair's ever been. I was meant to get my hair cut literally right before lockdown kind of happened, and obviously then didn't happen. So so it just grew and grew and grew. So about 4 or 5 months worth of growth. So back to the old squaddy, short back and sides blended in. Oh, and it feels good. So here we go. So I've got a couple of people over on YouTube. I need to do a bit of jumping around today because there's all sorts going off. So we've got Sold Fordio. Probably butchered that name, but that's what you get when you put numbers in your in your name. Patrick, good evening, Patrick. Hope you're alright. And Stuart. So fantastic. Thank you for popping along. I know what you guys have come for. So we'll get on into it. What have I been up to? Printing, as always. That seems to be the same thing, different day with that. But no, so that's been good. Thoroughly enjoyed doing that. One big Brucey bonus that's come about is I've got some air conditioning fitted now, so it means that doing these streams, especially on hot days, will be a lot more bearable, and so I can add a bit of consistency in that side of things, because I think when we had that hot day, it was around 29 degrees here near Nottingham, but it was nearly 40 degrees in my little attic room, so it was a bit too hot to kind of crack on with that. So not near the 50 degrees that I faced when I was in Iraq, but different type of heat, to be honest with you. I think I pulled out my photos the other day, which are predominantly from training and Afghanistan. I was going to set the camera up to look down and flick through the photos, but they're they're old disposable camera photos, so it would be easier to do it digitally, because you can flick through it like a slideshow rather than changing each picture like an overhead projector, although be a bit of a fun throwback, to be honest with you. Some good news in the business side of things. 2 bits came together quite nicely today. 2 tasty little parcels turned up on the doorstep. First one was a package from David Woods, or Dwartist as he is known, of 2 fully painted Mastiffs, which are obviously going to be used to photograph for the web store to show that off. So we're going to be you've probably seen the photos. If not, then have a little look on the Facebook page. But we're going to be doing a little snazzy 360 of it today, and we'll have a little chat. And then the other parcel that turned up was a 3 kilo package of etch brass. So that's now everything that's now required. So we've got all the parts, all the resin pieces, etch brass, bits to show off with the painted stuff. Super happy days with that. So that means that I'll get pre-orders up soon. If people want to pre-order it, then I can get the product page up, and I can just borrow David's photos for now, and then take the official photos with the white background in a couple of days, and launch that there. But yeah, it means that you can start getting your orders in for what you want. And yeah, so it'll be a pre-order, probably pre-ordered for about a week, I think, because everything's now in stock. I just need to pack the parts all together, and yeah, then they'll be out to you. So there's no actually kind of waiting around for anything on any kind of production side of things. So yeah, I think a week pre-order, and they're going to be at a pre-order price of £45, and then when they hit retail they'll go up to £50. Yeah, it's a bit pricier of a kit than I would have wanted, but there's no compromising quality. Like, you will not be disappointed with the quality of the casting that this has been put together with, and the etch brass is something that adds quite a bit of a cost, unfortunately. Well, no, not unfortunately, it's a fantastic addition to the kit and wouldn't actually be the Mastiff without it. Just be Cougar, Cougar. I want the Mastiff. So yeah, so super happy. Right, yeah, my little macros aren't working today, and I've got to figure out why. So I am going to have to do it the old-fashioned way, which is a little bit more laborious, but we can get it. So we can get that one going. So we've got Patrick popping in and wishing us a good evening. So yeah, hope you do too, mate. It's good of you to pop by again. It's quite nice having me little regulars, and Stuart popping in too. Happy haircut. Oh no, it's so good. Ooh. Although you can't really see the top of it because it's a little bit blocked over. For those of you who are in the Courage in Contact group, you would have also seen the start of one of the snipers being painted. So they're now heading into progress to get those up, done and finished. I have a bit of it's not a snobby view on things, because obviously I show previews, but I don't want to sell models until I've got the painted pictures. It's just a kind of standard that I wanted to put in place for the company, and as I've discussed before, the renders will be removed from the website as the painted models come in. It's also one of the reasons why the Shattered Void spaceships haven't been released yet, is because I'm just awaiting the painted pieces to list them, and I just want to kind of show the models off in the best foot forward, really. And while I don't mind kind of showing off little greys and stuff like that on stream or sneak peeks in groups, I think just at the point of them being for sale, I want to follow the kind of production pipeline all the way through to having nice high-end painted miniatures for the customers or potential customers to kind of gawp over. So yeah. Oh, Duffy's joined us as well. Good evening, Duffy. Hope you're well and safe. But other than those kind of things, really, not too much gone off. Just trying to think what else I've really been up to. Tidying the attic. Not been down the unit in a little while. I'm going down tomorrow. Got some orders to pack and dispatch, so I'll get those done and out to all the customers for those. And then next week is down at the unit, and I'm going to be working on a big restock of stuff. So make some new moulds, castings, and start to bring some of, especially the Courage in Contact bits, because I'm out of stock of a few packs, and get those back in and running. So it means that, when I get the Mastiff, I'll also be packing the Mastiffs up into packs as well, and putting all the parts together to to get those. I really need to sit down and create a little, like, not so much an instruction manual, it's quite straightforward, but there's some parts like the exhaust on where it mounts that may throw a couple of people off, and also the kind of the best practice for putting the etched brass on. I might do a video actually, that might work quite nice. I can then just link it from the product, whack it up on the old YouTube page, will be good. There's actually something quite exciting. Well, I'm excited about it, so hopefully you are too. Monsoir Dunn has joined us. Andy, if you don't know who Andy is, there's some streams of gaming that I did when we play PUBG, and that's me duo's buddy. We share a lot of chicken dinners together. But anyway, sorry, I digress there. I'm actually getting a very nice camera, video camera. So I want to look to make some product videos for the releases, and the Mastiff will be, well, the kind of first one. So it's a little bit of experimentation. Part of it's just going to be a bit of intrigue and playing about from my end, as you know, I've never done any videography, but I want to try and push it kind of as far as I can, and give it a bit of a good shot, because I think outside of Games Workshop I can't think of any company that does a product release video. So yeah, I think that'll be quite fun to have and do. So we will see what happens on that. So yeah, kind of watch the space. It will take me a little bit of a while, because I've got to get to grips with a few different things. But yeah, I'd certainly like to do something for the Mastiff. Although the streams here run on to live stream, it runs, if people are into videos, it runs at 1080p, and I'm streaming at 60 frames per second. I'll be able to actually upload pre-made videos, not streaming, but pre-made videos at 4K. So yeah, really kind of show the models off, and it won't just be a little 360 spin like I do on the live stream, but kind of something a bit more snazzy with lighting and camera movements and stuff like that. So I've got some ideas. I'm looking forward to trying giving it a bit of a bash. So yeah, bear with me on the first one. That will be a steep learning curve, but I like to kind of keep pushing White Dragon and its products, and kind of get them out there. And I think a good kind of product video will be something that will be quite fun to do. So speaking of products, I'm guessing that you're all wanting to have a little look at the cheeky little Mastiff. So as the title kind of incurs, that we can have a little look at it. So let me just pop this little bad boy on, and here she is. So yeah, David has knocked it out the ballpark again. I mean, he's absolutely amazing with his paint jobs. Done this an absolute sterling job, and yeah, I've got two of them. So yeah, it's I actually just can't wait to show off like a little convoy or something. Yeah, it's all weathered and stuff. I mean, it's part of the funny thing, I guess, with military vehicles, especially kind of the Afghan-Iraq theatre. They're pretty much one colour, but it's just phenomenal stuff. There is some plans for a bit of progression with this model, I am looking at doing the protected eyes version 2. I should have really got a picture up, but for those that don't know, it's basically got, we can spin that round a bit more, we can keep it going. It's basically has a remote weapon system attached to it, which is slightly forward of where the turret currently sits, where the manned turret sits. It sits a couple of centimetres forward, well, on the vehicle obviously it's more than centimetres, but sits up nearer the front, so which means that the wire cutter bars, their alternate parts, they kind of face out, jaunting forwards instead of carrying on sloping back. There is a hatch cover where the manned turret is, and then there's also a camera that sits in the back. As you look at the vehicle in the back left, there is a camera unit that's extendable on top. So yeah, looking to add that to it as well, which will then give remote weapon system parts to it too. I have had some calls and requests to do the, I can't remember the title of it now, but the mine roller at the front, which I would love to do, but it all will come down to the kind of the numbers of people wanting it, because it's going to be quite a niche product in the range, and so to cover all production costs and all that kind of thing, there would have to be a certain amount of people that are requiring it. So yeah, that'll be something that maybe we can explore, but I need to ensure that there are the numbers. In fact, I can jump up into the top corner, can't I? It's alright, my little macro things aren't working fully, so I have to just kind of pop up and and pop back. But yeah, other than that, there will be looking at doing the Ridgeback as well, which is the 2-axled version of the same vehicle. So yeah, getting the Ridgeback done, and then we'll kind of see where we go from there. I've got a few ideas on where I want to go with the British. So yeah, it's a bit of a debate as to, do I look to go Stuart asked for Vikings. Yeah, I mean, there's a possibility to do the Vikings. They are there. It's one that I'll see what the kind of flavour of the month is and the feasibility of it, because again, if it's going to be the Viking for this period, it would then also have bar armour, and it's then looking to get all that side of things sorted. John asks on YouTube, any plans for SBS? No. As a rule, I don't do any special forces. There are other companies that make miniatures specialising in special forces. I think it's quite a well I can't think of the word. There's just plenty kind of them, so there's no plans in the immediate future. My plans with Courage in Contact is more the regular forces. So yeah, it's one of those where years down the line, who knows, once I've done every army in the world, but it's not a priority at all to do. I'd rather just do regular armed forces, and the scenarios and things that they face on I say day to day, but in a conflict. What's this one now? So in fact we can bring these up. Give me 2 seconds. I'll disappear, which I'm sure some of you are all glad about. To be fair, I'm being a little facetious. I can't even pronounce that word. Facetious. I know it takes a wee bit more effort to sort out creation of kits than that, but like a dream. Yeah, I mean, for a small little company, it's one. It's quite funny actually, because I had a photo pop up. I wonder if I can actually bring it up, and it will probably make you laugh. It's very rude of me to be on my phone for this, but where was it? Here we go. All right, so this might make you laugh. All right, this photo, I probably can't get it up there, can I? Hold on, we can switch to camera 3, can't we? Hang on. Right, so let's get it on. Is that gonna focus in? There we go. So that photo, which was the very first testing of bar armour on the Mastiff, so we just printed a slice of the side to check the fittings, and this was the first version of the bar armour, which turned out to be like too thick in the etched brass. That was tested this day 2 years ago, so you can start to kind of see how long it takes to bring to market. Like this project's been 2.5 years probably, but some of it is trials and tribulations, some of it is costings, some of it is just being busy generally with like printing or other things. So yeah, it's one of those things where I'd love to just be able to say, oh yeah, I've got a monthly release each and every month, but it doesn't always work out like that, unfortunately. It just made me laugh that was 2 years ago to the day, testing out the side bar armour fitting and making sure that would all work quite nicely. So yeah, it was good. We got Scott on Facebook saying evening. Good evening, Scott. Just to let you know, if you are watching via Facebook, you can come join over on YouTube. It is a better quality video stream, and can also interact with chat a little bit more, as I like to bring them up on the screen. So the next vehicles, I don't know. I'm in two minds. Do I look to do some earlier British, as the next part of the Brits? So, start to head back to when I was actually kind of serving, and do, snatch Land Rovers and Warriors, and head back to the Mark 6 helmet, and what was the body armour called? Can't remember what the body armour was called. It was before Osprey. I got Osprey just on the back end of my tour, first version of Osprey. But there was Kestrel, which was brought in to tackle the increasing threat of deaths or severe injuries happening from wounds to the neck or the underarm. So they actually brought out massive body armour. It was horrendous. It really was. You couldn't even hold your rifle properly. So look at maybe that period, or do I come kind of ultra modern and look at doing Virtus equipment? Could be possible. Means that then I could explore maybe doing the new infantry fighting vehicle. I think is it the Puma? No, Puma's German, isn't it? What's the new one? Well, the planned replacement of the Warrior. It's got a 40mm cannon. I know that much. I'll have to have a look. But yeah, there's then options to look at maybe doing something like that, and then while getting the IDF done and expanding on all other things, million and one things to do with all of this. So yeah, it's all kind of hopes, plans and dreams. But no, other than that, it's been about it. Don't know if anybody's got any wonderful little questions for this evening. There we go. Actually on the in fact I can plonk it up in there. Big stretch. So there's the babies, both together. There we go. So yeah, so we've got those two, happy as can be. I do actually have a display board that was made for me by a very talented chap. I can't remember his first name, but he goes by TM Terrain. He's got a Facebook page, and he makes some, fantastic display boards and scenery and stuff. And I've got a little Afghan scene. It's 4 foot by 2 foot, and my plan is to, pop them on there with some models and such, and take some, nice little photos for social media and such. So I might do that next week actually. Take me photography gear and go and have a bit of fun, snapping some photos of some convoys and some Taliban waiting in ambush to start kick-starting it all. Quick little look over here. Okay, but no, I've got the IDF that we showed off the other week. Got the tufts and stuff to start putting in there. Oh, hang on, we got a little question. Give me 2 seconds. This is a lot harder when you haven't got your little macro buttons that you can use. Right, that one. So, been asked there. For Shattered Void, will you be releasing the 28mm pilot model? I missed it in the Kickstarter. Yes, it was actually decided. In fact, we can bring back the camera one. It was decided due to how long the Kickstarter took to fulfill and the way the company is and the times that we face, that I would be bringing to bear all kind of resources and offering them up for sale. It was put to the Kickstarter backers, and I don't think anybody objected to it. They were all just very happy that they'd got their stuff. So yes, I will be. It will be launched with the rest of the ships, I should suspect, though, and offering that out for sure. So yeah, you can look forward to that. So you can pick one up. I should really paint one as well. The pilot was actually based on. I think I can show you the artwork. Hold on, I'll put the camera in position first, and then show it to you. You might not be able to see it all though. Yeah, there's an arm in the way. Oh, that way. So it was actually based on this artwork, which was initially a deck crew piece, but liked the design so much that it, in fact, you can't even see the head. Let me tilt that way a little bit. There you go, so you can see the helmet design there. Yeah, I like that one so much that actually became the pilot kind of design for it. So yeah, it's all coming together on that front. So that's good. So yeah, I think the stages of release now will be Mastiff, the British snipers, Taliban, together, and then it's going to be the Shattered Void stuff will be put up for pre-order, and because they're cast externally, they will take some time to obviously be produced, much like the Master Chief Hall was. So I think I'll whack them up for pre-order, and then I'll be able to get the numbers to the caster, and then also some additional numbers for what I want to have, in stock beyond what people have initially purchased of them going for sale, and then probably looking at the IDF, although the IDF will probably be very near that time as well. So yeah, there's going to be a kind of flurry of releases, and then that's not even to mention the 15mm models I've got to do. So there's a lot to get done and out of the door, but yeah, just bear with me. There's all sorts of good stuff coming up, I promise. And then yeah, it's just plotting and planning what's coming next. Some models have been pushed out and commissioned and are awaiting slots in the sculptor's queue to be done. So yeah, that includes Courage in Contact, good stuff as well. So super happy with those. And yeah, I think that's really it from my end. I know I've not been here for a couple of weeks, but it's been a bit crazy really, of just rocking on and getting on with some things in the personal world, and getting some things ticked off for casting, and just getting things completed in general. So I have to try and monitor all the chats. I think this is sometimes the harder thing with doing Facebook and YouTube, is I can pull the YouTube chat up, like here, but it doesn't integrate into Facebook, and I don't want to, look at missing a message. That's buzzing a little bit. I'm getting loads of messages. Okay, right. So, is there anything that anybody else wants to know, or what's going on? I mean, if you want to see some photos, I can pull out some photos. Nothing too bad, I promise. But so I think some of them are on CD. I found the CD the other day, which is pretty cool. There's a photo on there of when a car decided to see if it could take on a warrior tank at a crossing, and the warrior just basically drove over the car, and all that it did to the warrior was bent the bar armour. Which is just like the smoking engine. Great. But yeah, it's I'm hoping to have a bit more going on next week, because I'll be doing a whole load of casting and preparing. It was I say a little bit rushed tonight. Before I knew it, it was nearly 8 o'clock, and it takes surprisingly long time to prepare for a stream actually, because you got to get all the lighting ready, so you lit right, backlighting, test all the cameras, set all the elements up and around, and because I've had to change the attic around, I've not, whereas before just next to me here was a workbench where I was showing off the models on the turntable last time. That's not here. I've just got a bookshelf which I haven't got access to very well, so the models are actually just up behind the camera. So yeah, I've just had to have a bit of a change around with the layout of it all, and it's live streaming is pretty interesting and difficult, especially when your macros aren't working and you've got to do everything manually. So let's just, here we go, look, we can fire this up. So don't forget to start smashing that like button on there as well, and subscribe to that YouTube channel, get it growing. That's where the product will be the product video will be available in when I do it and upload it will be in 4K. Facebook doesn't allow. I think they're restricted to 720 or something on the videos, maybe 1080 on uploaded videos. Okay, so we've got a from Stuart. That background music is really relaxing. I can't actually hear it. It's just one that I like. The problem that that you have when you're live streaming is I forgot what they called, DRM, takedown notices or something. Copyright music basically. Whereas it's a playlist called Stream Beats. You can Google it, or I just play it on Spotify. And it's by a chap called, is it Harris Keller? But he runs a YouTube channel and gives advice on streaming and equipment and kind of best practices and everything. And he's created this playlist, so he owns the copyright to the music, and he's allowed people to to use it for the streams. So yeah, it's called Stream Beats, but it's really, really nice. I think he's got a couple of different playlists now, and I think this is the more kind of relaxing one. I should have put my headphone in, and so I could listen to it as well, and I wouldn't just have to listen to myself. But yeah, so it's a good little playlist. So if you got Spotify, even if you haven't got Spotify, I think if you just Google Stream Beats, you'll come up, and I think you can just download it. So yeah, give it a go. Definitely worthwhile. But no, it's a funny little day. I've had to turn the air conditioning off, but I know it sounds a bit posh, doesn't it? But because I don't know what the noise will be. In fact, we can do a little test actually. Let's do a little test. So if I just pop that up to, there we go. We'll have it start up, and we'll listen to it trigger on and see if there's anything. In fact, I put something aside. I was going to show it. There it is. Some of you may well have had one of these with an order. Let's try and get it in focus. There we go. I don't know if any of you have had one of those before with an order. I know Patrick has, because I'm pretty sure I remember packing that. But it's a little badge. I like to create them when I do factions. I still need to do a Taliban one actually, but it's a little metal pin badge, and I just thought that they were nice and fun to kind of do with the different factions. And so I generally have popped them into orders of normally if they're quite a big order, or it's someone that's following stuff. I'll send you one, Stuart. Your next order, I'll just pop you one in. Surprised you haven't had one before, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, so I need to get the Taliban one sorted as well. So it's just a little faction flag. There you go, I can pop it up on there. So it's just an enamel badge, but obviously with the Courage in Contact logo and the faction. So yeah, I need to do one for the Taliban. The idea of it was to have them for the release of each faction, and just see what kind of comes out with it, and offer them to maybe even like pre-orders. So like for the Taliban, not the Taliban, sorry, the IDF is getting those up on a pre-order, and then people that pre-order them will can get hold of one, and then if there's anything later on, they can, if it's a sizable order, they can get their hands kind of on them and make them a little bit collectible. Mark's popped on. Hi Mark, how are you? Hope you're well, mate. It's been a little while, so yeah, no, thanks for popping on by. Hope you enjoy the stream. And just see what's what. But I like doing little fun things like that. I'd love to do some t-shirts and stuff, but it's getting good designs and stuff is sometimes, you know, a bit problematic. So yeah, we'll see. We will see. I think this is the thing, you see, like with Spec Ops and stuff, is they can have all really cool kind of designs and stuff. It's a little bit different when it's regular, you know. It's not as it's not as elite, is it? You know. So we will see. We will see what the future kind of brings. But if you do want a really cool posters and stuff, I don't know if I posted them up on the White Dragon page actually, but I got a load of section weapon loadouts from around the world. I'll have to post a link on it. I can't think of it at the minute. In fact, I might be able to find it online. I'm just trying to think. It's by that's it. It's called Battle Order. Yeah, let me just pull up the web page. And they've got a link on the page to a site where you can order posters, and I ordered loads and loads of posters. Yeah, unit organisations. There we go. I'll post the link on up, and you can check it out. And they do a selection of things. They've got some World War II, all the way up to, you know, kind of ultra modern. In fact, I think I can pop that up on the old chat so everyone can see. Oh, a link comes up black. Well, that's great, isn't it? Let's switch to camera 2 so you might be able to see it. Maybe not. Alright, it was worth a try. I don't know why links come up black though. A little bit odd. So, yeah. But anyway, it's called battleorder.org. And yeah, they have they do some fantastic research and getting stuff sorted. So well worth a look at. And I've got, how many did I order in the end? About 15 of the posters of the different loadouts. There we go. So the aircon's about to kick in. So you'll have to let me know how bad it is. I think it should be set to auto speed, but I can probably just whack it down to quiet. Let's see how it goes. So yeah, it's a worthy resource to look at. All right, so that's it now. That's on. Is that noticeable? If someone just wants to just pipe up and say whether they can hear anything, I'll just be quiet for a second. Oh, cheers, Stuart. That's good to know, because it means that if it's a really hot day, and it's just stifling in here, I can potentially just have it running. Pardon me, sorry. So that's super beneficial. Another great resource that I came across, and I'll pop a link to that as well. I just need to jump onto it's a YouTube channel, and I'll tell you what. Right, you will start watching these and you will be absorbed. There we go. Alright, it's a YouTube channel called Live Forevermore, and it's a military history channel, and the guy does amazing stuff. Like, I've literally been watching hours of his stuff, but he goes into depth about special operations and engagements and operations and stuff like that have taken place, even down to equipment. So I will pop a link of his channel in there, because that is such a worthy site, or YouTube channel. to sit and watch. Obviously, you're not going anywhere till I finish streaming, but after, yeah, pop to that and take a look. I've almost watched. How many videos has he got? So he's been up and running a year, and it looks like he's got about 45 videos, and I've almost watched them all, and I only found his channel like the other day. So yeah, you will be absorbed by it. Fantastic. If you love your military operations and information, yeah, you're in for a treat on that one. So yeah, they're my two links for you guys to check out. Battle Order is fantastic for getting information on, soldier loadouts, or the number of soldiers, in a section and stuff like that, which I use as well. In fact, the guy who does all the infographics for it has given me permission to use the imagery on the website. So I might pop up, like for the British, the different weapon loadouts that the packs have, what weapons there are, and just have an image on there and drop a link over to his resource. But yeah, I think there's a link to the Discord server on there as well, but top group. So yeah, some good resources out there, I will tell you that now. Very slight hum. If the music can host a quiet. Oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty good then. I mean, I can probably get it quiet. That's on auto, so it might be ramping up a bit. So if I go into quiet, yeah, so that'll hopefully then bring that pretty much right down to nothing. So yeah, so Stuart, just give me a prod on your next order, and in the notes just put badge. I'll know what you're on about, and I'll drop you one in. As I say, I'm sorry if you've not had one before, and well, just anyone watching the YouTube really. If you've watched YouTube and you see me, hear me say type badge on your order form, I'll pop you a badge in. So yeah, I'm going to get the Taliban one sorted as well, actually. I may have to go with I don't know, because the Taliban flag is a white flag with black writing. So I'll have to figure out how I'm going to do the Courage in Contact font. Or unless I just keep with the kind of, black border, white infill. Yeah, we'll figure it out anyway. And then, yeah, get the Taliban. I mean, I might coincide the Taliban one with the Dushka and the ID team and get that out with those guys. Yeah, and then obviously I'll get the IDF one sorted for the IDF. So yeah, I guess it's kind of over to you guys a little bit as to what you would really like to see. Yeah, well, Patrick brings up a good little question. Let me bring up my little chatty chat box. So I forgot to ask if you'll be doing civilians for Courage in Contact. There is not a great choice around for civilians at the moment. Yes. in short, plain, simple terms, Patrick, yes. I'm going a little bit of a step further, because one of the packs that is planned is Taliban, I say it in disguise, but kind of hiding firearms. So, it will be like someone dressed up in a burqa, and you'll probably just see like the tip and the foresight of an AK or something, literally just poking out the bottom, and maybe like a fabricked shape of a weapon, shall we say, to have those, so that because it's one of the tactics that goes off out in the field is that they'll be moving weaponry around and dressing up as females and stuff like that. So we got a might have missed it. Where can we get a White Dragon miniatures t-shirt? Well, I mean, this is one I actually had this made to do shows with. Little cheeky little polo shirt, just a casual formal casual, smart casual it's called, isn't it? Sorry, yeah. To have done. So I only have this one. I think I'd like to do something a little bit more interesting than just the White Dragon miniature logo. I've got a couple of ideas. I've got a illustrator who's really good. So I'm going to have a little sit down chat with him and see what what we can do there. I'm actually looking at on the store is expanding the range of kind of hobby accessories, and I like to bring stuff onto the store that works well with the ranges, which is like one of the things I had with the, if you guys haven't got on, little plug with the Gamer Grass, the Tufts, because they just obviously go great with the figures, and I've selected a what I think is a good range of Tufts that work well for the theatres of war, that kind of Courage in Contact, and the 15mm, to be fair, kind of working. So yeah, it's one that keep looking at those kind of ancillary hobby products that people would probably like to pick up as well as the miniatures. I already stock a load of Vallejo paints. I do have the game colour at the minute, which obviously I started stocking before I started even creating Courage in Contact. So maybe a more beneficial range would have been maybe the model colour rather than the game colour. A bit more, kind of military side of things. I mean, I've got the washes. Maybe weathering powders would be quite cool. It's just finding the distributors, because buying in like a whole range of stuff becomes very expensive fast, and there's not a margin to be made. I mean, it'll make you laugh, but on the Vallejo paints, like I think I make something like 20p. I don't have them there to make money. I don't sell a volume of Vallejo paints that I'm going to be retiring next week. I just have them there so that if people are popping by and buying a pack or two of miniatures, and they're just like, you know what, I need some glue, or I need the odd paint, they can just add them to the cart. And I think I'm might still be the cheapest. I know I was, but the prices went up from the distributor. The cheapest Vallejo paints there are, I think. So yeah, so that, as I say, I'm not there to make money on them. I'm there just to have them, and it's quite funny actually why they were originally bought. Giving away all my secrets here. The paints were originally brought because when I launched the web store, so after the 15mm Kickstarter, I think there's about, how many different SKUs are there for the, I think there's about 20 products in the 15mm range, and the store just, as I was building it, looked a bit blank. 20 products inside your store, and it didn't look very busy. So I ended up getting the Vallejo paints just so I could list 100 different products and bulk the web store out. So yeah, it's kind of followed on from that, really. But yeah, like being able to expand into the Gamer Grass, and I've also got some barbed wire that I need to list as well. So I've got some bundles of barbed wire because, well, modern day militaries, barbed wires everywhere. Stocked up on paintbrushes again. Carry the Rosemary and Co. Paintbrushes, which are great value for the quality that they provide. I've also got some little flat dry brushes that I need to add. They're new, so I need to get some little product pages made for those. I'm just trying to think what other little product sets would be quite cool. One thing that I was working on doing, I don't know if it will work going forward, and I'll tell you why. I was looking at doing some little paint sets for, like, obviously not the Taliban because they don't so much have a fixed scheme, but a set for the British and the IDF. But I got a load of paints from manufacturers to look and test, like, out, because what I wanted was an out the bottle solution so that there wasn't kind of any mixing of paints or any of that kind of thing, so you could literally just dunk these colours out the bottles, slap them on the miniatures, and get a good approximation of the camo colours for the models. But it turned out the colours out the bottles just don't match. So that the painters had to then end up like the IDF. They ended up having to mix a custom colour, to get that IDF green, which was a bit wounding to a certain degree. I mean, one option is to be a little bit cheeky and pre-mix the paints, so if it's a 4:3 ratio of two different paints, is get 4 bottles of one colour, 3 bottles of the other, mix them together, and then make 7 bottles of the new colour. But I don't know. I'll probably I'll cast it kind of out there. The ideal solution would be to go to paint manufacturers and get it made, but it's the volume. Not being too funny, the volume of paints that I sell, it would take me a million years to get through what they would probably require of me. So, pardon me. It's not that feasible. I think buying the colours and mixing them, myself on the larger ratios of what the painter kind of advises might be plausible, but then you're making the paints you kind of self. So we'll see. I think we'll see how the people kind of want to and feel about it. So Dougie Robinson has just asked on Facebook, just started watching, so not sure if it's been asked. When are we expecting the Mastiff to be available? So I was just mentioning earlier that I've got everything now in place to actually sell the models. The plan initially was to have the painted versions arrive first, so I can get photos done and get it listed for pre-order on the website, but everything's just kind of turned up together. So what I'm going to do probably this weekend maybe is borrow David's wonderful photos that he took of the Mastiff, whack it up for pre-order. Next week I can start packing all the parts into like little product boxes for each Mastiff, and then the week after goes on release, so those that have pre-ordered it that week can ship out at the end of the week, and from that point on it's then in stock, isn't it? And then I can just update the photos a little while later to bring them about. So it could be beginning of next week they go up on pre-order, and I think I'll whack them up for a week on pre-order and then ship them out at the end of that for you. So everything's now here ready. The etch brass has arrived. All the Mastiff parts have arrived. So yeah, we're golden. In fact, I should have checked it when the Mastiff parts arrived to make sure that they fit inside the existing packaging. If you've had a Foxhound, you'll know the packaging that I've got. I'm actually moving away. Some of you may have seen the newer packaging, which is a cardboard box with a colour wrap sticker around it showing off the models. That's the packaging that I'm kind of working towards. But I've got a load of these larger plastic packaging to use up, and so obviously I'm not going to sit and waste them, so I'll use those up first, and then I'll source a bigger box than the one the infantry come in for the vehicles. I'm just trying to get a bit more sustainable packaging. Obviously the big things with plastics and that view of throwing away plastics, although the plastic packaging that I've got is from recycled plastic. I think just moving to a cardboard option is better. It also works out better for packaging orders. For those of you that have had the plastic packaging, they're quite awkward to stack in a box. Like, there's a lot of void area that the way that the packaging sits with the ring on the top, that you can't do much with that. So there's actually quite a lot of wasted space in a box. So shifted over to the smaller cardboard box, which is far better, to be perfectly honest. So let's have a quick little look, because we've had another little comment. So yeah, we saw that one earlier. Tufts and washes are the best things for miniature since acrylic paints. Yeah, they really are. The Tufts are. I mean, I don't go near static grass these days. It's just literally bang some Tufts on it. I think they're fantastic. And well, I do like the GW washes. As I don't get much time to really paint nowadays, I get a little bit out of touch, with kind of paints and bits and bobs. It's so I just have to kind of keep my eye out for what there is and what seems pretty good and what has good reviews. But yeah, that's why if you've got any ideas or things that you'd like to see outside of miniatures for me to do, then I'm always happy to listen and explore options. So Patrick says triads, shade, main colour, highlight, like Wargames. Yeah, Wargames Foundry do a great job with their the three colours. The only difficulty that you face with that is that a lot of our guys are wearing camo, and so it's very difficult to shade and highlight camo just by its very nature of trying to even paint it is sometimes quite difficult, let alone trying to pick out where to put the shadows and the highlights within that. This is where I think it comes back around to washes and the style that you do. Let's have a look. So Duffy says, I haven't touched the Courage and Contact figures I got a few weeks back, being made redundant, so trying to learn as much as possible before leaving. So I'll be as a secretary in a minute. Oh mate, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that really sucks. What is it that you're trying to pick up and learn? I mean, well, if there's anything that I can point you to, chap, then let me know. I don't know what industry you kind of specialise in, but yeah, I like to think I'm quite a good little resource finder. So if there's anything that you want, drop me a message. Yeah, it's never good to kind of hear that kind of thing. Is it because of the current situation that's happening, or is it something that's just happening regardless of the well, you got to be careful saying it on stream because they de-rank you and stuff. Not that I've got a rank, to be perfectly fair, on YouTube, but with the pandemic and stuff. So yeah, sorry to hear that one, Duffy. I'll not bring your reply up. Let's have a quick little look. Socks. I think you've lost me on that one. Unless there's a missing T, stocks. Maybe? I don't know. Yeah, you'll have to clarify that one for us, Duffy. Yeah, it's certainly some interesting times that we're going to be heading into going forward. Okay, I do data in energy industry, trying to strengthen software development. Okay, yeah, I mean, yeah, software engineers and stuff like that. Yeah, is it specialising in anything particular? Well, I'll not go too far in depth for it because you'll probably like lose me with it. But yeah, I do like coding and stuff. Some of you might have actually noticed. Oh, wrong arm. It's funny, yeah. So I actually had my logo put on my arm, and well, there was a little reason for that. I have tattoos. That's my 6th tattoo that I had, and I like to have them on, like certain situations. So I had one when I initially joined the army, which was that one there, a little bit faded now, a bit of a shit tat. Just a tribal dragon. I've always liked dragons. If you've ever wondered why, why is it called? Well, I say White Dragon Miniatures. There's a story behind that. I'll come to in a minute. Yeah, and then so I just had them when I've come back from tours. So that was another one, and then I've got both shoulder blades done, neck, and then wrist. And the wrist one was when I went full time in the company. I decided, for me it was quite a proud thing to have and to do, and yeah, so I ended up treating myself to the White Dragon Miniatures little logo for it. So yeah, super happy with that. But yeah, the reason the company's called White Dragon Miniatures was prior to running the miniature company, I actually used to do resin casting for other companies, and the company used to be called Black Dragon Castings. And so when I was making the transition over, when I started making my own miniature range and kind of branding all that side of things, it was I'm not going to sell models under Black Dragon Castings because so that's essentially a casting company. So the simple thing was to pick the kind of opposite of the, well, I say colour. Black's not a colour, but neither is white. Pick the invert of it and went for White Dragon. So it was White Dragon Miniatures was the company name to do the miniature side of it. Interestingly enough, but then I ended up stopped casting for external companies and just focused on my own things. So Black Dragon Castings faded into the ether, which I miss aspects of it, but yeah, I certainly don't miss other aspects. I had some some challenging times with all of that. Let's have a little look. So Roy James, how come your head options in CU British Army sets are always crossed out / out of stock? Sorry if this was asked earlier. The web store works a little bit quirky. Well, it's not. It's just its stock management system. So I only put what stock I have available on the web store. So if it's out of stock, I need to just do some more casting. if it's the Mark 6 helmets, they'll be out of stock for a little bit longer because I've got to rework something for those. So there's a bit more work for me to get those back up sorted and in stock. The other quirky thing that pops up is that sometimes there will be individual packs available but no platoon. And that's because the platoon is obviously one of each pack, and they're always made into individual packs. When you buy a platoon, you don't buy like a single box that is the platoon. You're just getting one of each of the 7 packs bundled together, and it's just sold as a platoon at a bit of a discount for you. But the stocks don't update each other. So if someone buys a platoon, it doesn't remove one from each of the 7 packs that you've then ordered. So I sometimes end up with this quirky situation where people order packs that have dropped out of stock or something because platoons have been brought. So yeah, but I'm limited by what the web store can kind of achieve. I have put it over to them, of having a crossed over inventory, but well, I guess I'm probably the only person in the world that probably needs it, to be fair, because they're not addressing it. So yeah, I'm sorry if there are, but next week a lot of the British, well, in fact all the British bar the Mark 6 should be circulating back into stock, which would be a big thumbs up. I'm just trying to think what else is out of stock. I think quad bike riders is okay at the minute. I know one of the trailers, I think it's the full quad bike trailer, is out of stock. I think one of the other things that I'm going to look to do actually is have I need to check the availability of it actually, because Aerofix do a I think it's 1/48 scale helicopters. They do like a Opheric Aerofix sets, and one of them is the helicopter. I've totally forgotten the name of it. I've been in it as well. The Merlin helicopter, and so I'm actually quite tempted to do a crew for the helicopter, and then have the 2 side gunners with jimpies, and then you'll have to forgive me because I'm not that au fait with helicopter kind of positions, but it's like is it like a loadmaster or something at the back of the aircraft, and it would then mean that could have a guy sat with a rear facing jimpy potentially there as well. So yeah, just do a crew, but I'd need to check the availability of the Aerofix set, because I don't want to create something that is like rocking horse poo, and people would have to pay a fortune on eBay to get hold of. But I can't think where I brought mine from actually. I think it was eBay, but I don't think it was like a rare find. But yeah, if that could be picked up for a reasonable price and offer a kind of courage in contact crew, that'd be pretty sweet. I'm all for that kind of thing. Let's have a little look. We've got some comments. Sounds like some algorithms that I could code for you. Oh, I might have to have a word with you with that one then, Duffy. I'll drop you a message, because yeah, if it's something that could potentially be sorted, it would be very, very useful. It just becomes so annoying at times. Oh, Facebook. That's how I know. Cheers, that explains it. Just noticed it every time I went to get a platoon set. Oh yeah, it's. I would love to say that I'd have time to jump on and swap out the stock numbers each and every time a platoon's brought, but yeah, I just don't. If I can find a good solution, or if Duffy wants to write me a solution, then there you go. In fact, we'll pop it up on the video so that you can't get away from it. There we go. Look, there we go, Duffy. Sounds like some algorithms that I could code for you. So yeah, I'll hold you to that one now. You're on the stream, Duffy. Like, there's no getting away from that comment now. Delete it all you ever want, or deny that you ever said it. Right, it's there. it's in video form now. So yeah, but my plan, to be honest with you, is just to keep the stuff in stock, to be fair, and yeah, just get on top of getting, because I need to make some new moulds for a lot of the British stuff. Some of the Taliban stuff needs to be refreshed, and then once they're done and there, it's a lot easier to kind of keep things in stock. It's one that I can't necessarily just make a single mould each time. It's not very time productive, so sometimes I have to wait for a few products to kind of wear their moulds out and then look to kind of make a batch moulding session. Because to do casting, I kind of clear everything away so I can just focus on casting, and then to do mould making, I clear any casting stuff away to then make moulds. So I can't do a couple of moulds and then crack on with some casting, because it's just like the layout I like to have for the workshop. I think it's a little bit OCD that I have to be like this, but I like to very much kind of focus on what I'm doing. If I'm going to do casting, I like to just do casting, and focus on something another day. We'll just see, but just going to try and keep things better in stock. Let's have a little look. So we've got a little question. Sorry, I know you mentioned this, I think that's meant to be easier, but I've been putting around getting stuff sorted and missed. Release for British snipers at all? Yeah, I did touch on this earlier, and so the snipers, grenade machine gun and HMG are currently with the painter. You probably, I don't know if you saw the image on the Courage in Contact Facebook group, Stuart. So we're backwards and forwards with colours for the camo and just getting things right. So that's the initial, I say tester model, but we were just working through getting it sorted so that he'll be able to plough on with all of that, which would be pretty sound, because now that we've kind of ironed out the colours for the camo, the camo pattern, and then the coloration of the different parts of body armour, and even the glasses, the ballistic glasses and stuff. He's just going to crack on now, so I can prepare everything my end for production. He can get them sorted, because it falls down to like the Mastiff. I don't want to release a product without painted miniatures. It's just a standard that I try and look to hold myself to, because it's becoming more and more seen in the industry of models shown off through 3D renders and released on 3D renders and even advertised. You pretty much don't see a physical representation of the model, and I don't like it. I don't mind previewing a sneaky little 3D render here and there, but the point of when you're going to be clicking purchase, I think it's only fair that you see an exact representation of what that model is and what you will receive as a customer. It's again, I mean, we're drawing down into kind of 3D printing territory here. 3D printing is great, it's fun, I do it, it's part of my business, to a high end, but there's this kind of increasing notion of miniatures just being able to be whatever they want, and sometimes not even any thought on how it will print, or how the end product will work for the customer, or if they have any problems. I don't know, it just seems to be this total kind of disconnect of standards, to a certain degree. And so I sit and I'll hold myself and say, I've shown renders off. I've sold products with renders. They're still up on the web store. I'm not going to sit and say that I've never done it, but I set a precedence with. Well, I wanted to do it with the British, but getting them all painted up previously was quite difficult, which David Woods was going to do, but camo takes a long time to do. He has, very finite amount of time, and so that wasn't going to work. However, the painter that you've seen the miniature for the sniper, he's going to be doing it all. So yeah, so they'll be swapped over, but the Taliban are a good example of it, and the IDF will again be a prime example of what will be put forward. Really good, high quality paint jobs for the web store and any kind of promotional material. So yeah, let's have a little look at. Oh, Duffy's got a follow on. Add this to the screen for money, of course, or free stuff. yeah. We'll have a little chat. We'll see what's what and what can be done. A sniper in Combat's 95. Well, this is where I come back round to: do we look to go earlier in the Iraq War period? So when I was there, when you're old, when you have to calculate when you were there, so how old was I? Oh, that's fun. Why is that low? It should be. Oh, we broke it. That should be on charge. I don't know why that's saying that it's not. 2 seconds. My computer's just saying that it's not available. There we go. Hang on, I'll have to bring the chat back up. That's fun. When your laptop's plugged in, but it says it's not. Yeah, it's one of those options of going back and doing an earlier part of the Iraqi conflict, and snatch Land Rovers. I was there. Hang on, I have to work this out. So 2003, I was 18. I was in Afghanistan. 2004, Northern Ireland. So 2005, I was on Optelic 6, and then 2006 I was on Optelic 8. Yeah, so those earlier periods, rocking around in the snatch Land Rover, could be an option. We used to have a saying, real men ride snatch, because they were known as like death coffins, weren't they? So let's have a look, see if this is right. Where's my monitor gone? So everything since that's turned around and gone. It looks like the monitor is saying no. I don't know what it's playing up with the monitor. That means the chat's gone down, unfortunately. Oh no, hold on, I think it's back up. There we go. Let's bring that bad boy up. There we go. Right, so yeah, we should have that one all back up. Idea. Future stream or small section of the stream would like to see a walkthrough of your casting process, share your approach and all the things you've learned, mistakes, etc. Yeah, I mean, it would be one. I'd have to do it a little bit different, unless I took my kind of recording setup down to the unit and did a little talk through. I'll be perfectly honest with you though, like, casting's not that interesting. Well, I don't know if it's because I do it on a very regular kind of basis that I don't find it that interesting. But yeah, if you want to, have a little look and see what they kind of done and made, yeah, I'm more than happy to. I mean, it's something that I may just look to do on my phone, because you can just do like a little Facebook live stream. Oh, that's my little daughter Sophie, by the way. Yeah, and just have a little look to do a live stream through that, rather than with all of this setup. Yeah, maybe we'll have a little look. We'll see what kind of goes on. Okay, so what else have we got? Gotta say, I hated riding in Snatchers, and that was on normal roads, never mind the desert ones. Yeah, they were wild little things. Actually, when I was on Optelic 6, I was attached to our 1st battalion, so I was in 2nd Battalion, Royal Anglian Regiment. We were based on a residential tour in Ballykelly, not Ballykelly, sorry. It was Ballykelly, at the old airbase. And I ended up volunteering to go with the 1st Battalion on Optelic 6. And on our first patrol that we had out there, so after we'd been to Shibalog base and done all our acclimatisation and everything, and we moved over and we were based at Basra Palace. And the funny thing was, we went out in our Snatch Land Rover, and we were going down this side road where there was I don't know if you could call it like an aqueduct, or it wasn't a river, it was almost like a canal or drainage. Well, it was bigger than a drainage ditch, and we went to turn this corner, and our back wheel went on the side of the bank from under us, and we just slid down into the river. And so the whole, it literally just the bonnet sticking out the back. So me and my mate, who was top cover, we used to call him Barnyard, but name was Bernard Barnyard. We ended up having to clamber up, but as we kind of fell and slid down, the body armour had latched onto the hook that holds the top cover roof over, and so that had then dislodged, and so the roof had kind of pushed into us to try and get out. So it was a bit of like a moment that you're kind of going down into the water filling up through the wagon, you're trying to wanting to scramble out the top of it, and you couldn't. And quite lucky that it didn't like roll afterwards, it just kind of just slid off the road and in like that. But if it had turned over, could have been a totally different story. But yeah, that was quite fun. So then etched into the back of the wagon was the Yellow Submarine. I've got a video actually of I remember buying a video camera out there, and so yeah, we're just rocking about with making some footage of while we're there, and one of them is the Yellow Submarine. It was one of our patrol snatches, but yeah, just quite funny actually. First ever patrol out there and dunking it in a little river. I just remember, like, because it was right near the end of the patrol as well, so we'd been out for a good few hours. It was at night time, so it wasn't stoking hot, but then we had to wait for recovery to come, and we were stuck there for hours because the REME guys were obviously checking the pathway to ensure that it could support the massive recovery truck. Just a bizarre night. Just an absolutely bizarre night. So yeah, I'd love to kind of share my stories and experience a little bit more. It's one of the things where even just flicking through the photos, I forgot of like all the different laughs and entertaining times that I'd had out there. It's pretty cool. Let's have a look if we've got any more chat comments. So after fiddling about that, I need to check the Facebook page. So Roy James, have you plans to expand further with other nation troops? Yeah, so Roy, I don't know if you're aware, of the IDF, or if you've seen those. So they're planned. But oh yes, yeah, it's one of the things I want to do with Courage in Contact is just keep expanding it, further and further afield, and just keep the range growing, really. The way I'm trying to balance it is, I say, good guys, bad guys, but obviously there's the British, there's the Taliban, there's IDF, and then there's going to be kind of ISIS, Hezbollah type. I refer to them as like the kind of tracksuit jihadists, in the sense that instead of wearing the traditional garments that you typically associate with the Taliban, it's more tracksuits with webbing and that kind of thing. Western terrorism, shall we say. So yeah, it's looking more towards that. So it will fit a number of I say factions, be suitable for armed Iraqis, and the conflicts there, ISIS, Syria, Hezbollah. Part of it will, mixed within it will be, I say, more trained soldiers that are a bit more alert of what they're wearing and the equipment they're using. So yeah, that's all within the breadths and means of the releases. So I'm just trying to think. There's a couple of factions I would like to do kind of after ISIS, but yeah, we'll come on to those another day. There's a million one things that I want to do. It's the fact of what I can do when I can do it. So a look, not necessarily in the unit, even talk about it, showing some photos of production process. Yeah, I mean, I can have a little look. It's just trying to make it, well, not that I think I'm interesting at the best of times, but something that is kind of interest. I think the easier option of it would be to be doing it, like as in being down at the unit and making the models, because then that way, if there's questions on the process as I'm doing it, I can show it more in depth. If I prepared something to present to you now and you asked a question that I hadn't kind of planned or thought about, I'm not going to be able to demonstrate or give an example of it easy, shall we say. So yeah, it might be something that I just have a little look at doing, just with my phone maybe, and having down at the unit. Certainly be interesting. I want to do some more PC streaming, and working on the old computer beast behind me. So whether that's doing some more chopping off heads, or doing some research, finding some reference photos and planning some bits and bobs would be quite cool. It's just, I'm guessing in a way it's just finding things that you guys would find interesting, and spark a bit of talk, and just give you a bit of insight into everything that goes on, because it's surprisingly busy things to run a miniature company. It's not all necessarily fun and games. It was like the other day, I was just researching a couple of things, and before you know it, half the day's gone. You just don't feel like you've researched all that much. So yeah, it's just finding sources. Some things are really easy to find, and other things, it's half the battle is understanding the terminology of what you're searching for. It just, yeah, you can just, like, obviously planning the British Army models, easiest thing. I know people, and got my own experiences of the British tactics and formations and stuff like that, and it didn't take much to kind of find out the loadouts of a modern section, obviously know a platoon composition, or multiple if they're in that kind of format. But you then hit IDF. Good luck. you tell me what the composition of an IDF platoon is, all right? And you will get my hat. You will get my hat for that, because I searched, and I finally found some information. A very kind soul gave me some tidbits, but again wouldn't give me everything. So yeah, pretty fun, pretty darn fun. Oh, we got a young James. Now young James in Facebook, he's just mentioned that the new transports look amazing. Thank you, James. Now, for those of you that have been fortunate enough to actually get the new model packaging with the colour sticker, this James Allen was the champion chap that did the design of that, so he's a top bloke. It was quite funny, actually. I'm sure he won't mind me telling the story in a way, but it puts me in an entertaining light. So I do like a lot of the design work, all the logos. It's pretty much all done by me, and so we end up having this laugh with James had ordered. I can't remember, James, if you'd ordered some models or you were going to order some models, and we just got chatting, and I can't remember the ins and outs of it, but you mentioned that you're a graphic designer, and then I said, oh, I've just been redesigning the packaging for the sticker for the cardboard box, and James has a look at it and he goes, do you mind if I have a go? And what he came back with, it's pretty much what if you've seen the packaging. I don't think I've got one here. I'll have to show it off next time. No, I don't think I've got one here at all. I'll have to bring one back from the unit and show it off. So if you've not seen one, you can see it. And it literally just like blew me away. I was just like, why do I bother? Oh, it was great. Yeah, it was, James. It was great timing. It was amazing. And so yeah, but he's also done some package design for the Shattered Void ships as well. So that'll obviously then be deployed for those when they hit on retail as well. So yeah, James, top bloke, real top bloke. Yeah. So yeah, no, I hope you're keeping well, James. It's nice of you to pop along and have a little look at the stream. So let's just pop the Mastiffs back on for a minute, because they're just too good not to look at. In fact, we can give that a bit of a rotate with both of them, can't we? So yeah, if any of you want a cheeky little badge, then please do just on an order, just drop a message on there and just say, oi, give me a badge, and I will pop you a cheeky little badge into your order. Or I need to get the Turntable app up. So many different apps, isn't there? There we go. So there they are, the two buttes, my two babies. Yeah, so they're going to look great with a Fox sound. In fact, I can put a Fox sound next to it so you can see once it's done its little twirl, I'll pop a little Fox sound on so you can see the size comparison. Oh, James is base coating my lads this week, so progress, my dude. Always a pleasure. Nice one. Yeah, get cracking with them, James. Look forward to see. But so Patrick pops up with the boxes were a surprise when received order and useful afterwards to store bits. Oh, that's good to hear. It's always good to know that they're being utilised for for good little reasons. Yeah, there's a so yeah, it's a bit of a rollout process. So some models are still in like the old plastic packaging, because I've got to use those up. I'm not just gonna ditch a load of packaging just for a bit of uniformity throughout it. Get them and utilise what I have existing of, but then when I've run out of them, and obviously the new stock goes into the cardboard packaging. So yeah, it's really, really good. Really looking forward to shifting everything over to that as well, because it's just storage in the unit as well. So instead of having like racks of stuff, I can have nice kind of neat and organised shelves. Right, so let's pop up. Let me grab this one out of the way. Nice and careful with it. So many wires trailing about. And then, so this one's the cheeky little foxhound. It's not painted. The painted one is actually with Sarissa, because they did some promo photos for some stuff. So there you can see the two together, and then we can give that a little twirly bird, and you can see how they sit and compare. They're pretty cool. I'm well happy with them. So yeah, you can see how it all sit and look with all your existing foxhounds that you've all brought millions of. Do you have any squaddies or even IDF handy for a size comparison with infantry? Yes, yeah. Let me just allow that to finish. In fact, I can stop it in a second, and I'll pop I've got a couple of IDF. In fact, I've got some Taliban bikers and bits and bobs. Yeah, I'll pop some models around it so you can see. Right, let me just stop it there. Okay, so we can get a little standy dude. He's not stuck to the base, so he's leaning over slightly. In fact, we'll pop him. Let me take the badge off. We'll pop him this side so you can see. Oh, we've got the British soldiers here, haven't I? Silly me. So we got those. Let me turn that around a little bit, and then I can pop a couple more on. There we go. See him there. Okay. And then let's pop one by the back door. There we go. Yeah, so that should give you a an overall idea of how they are. Obviously, the top cover are scaled to the existing models. So yeah, should all fall into place quite nicely there with that for you. So yeah, so next week people, it should all be good. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. David's a great guy. I'm sure he'll be fine with me just borrowing the photos he did, just to pop it up so that there's some product photos. I'm sure the people that are pre-ordering it know what they're looking at getting, because they've probably either seen the development of it or or have seen it like on the stream, like that or whatever. So I'm not like looking at mis-selling to people. It's just that doing the photography and erasing the background just takes me a little bit of time to set it all up and to do all the kind of post processing for it. So yeah, but yeah, I'm glad that you approve of those models. So Duffy says, can feel my wallet hurting. There's going to be my redundancy money on those models. Well, I would sit and say I'd happily, take the money and that, but yeah, as long as it doesn't put you in, any kind of financial strain or anything, Duffy, I don't want you to feel obliged to, just to spend it. Obviously, current times, look after yourself and make sure that you find secure in that position. But yeah, if you're in a position where you can get one and you want one, I'm happy to supply. Right, okay. Well, I think I'm going to look to wrap up the stream now. I didn't think this stream would actually be all too long tonight, I'll be perfectly fair with you, and it's ended up pretty much 2 hours. So yeah, I think next week it sounds a bit of a fun one. I think I might do some photos and stories next week, unless anything crops up that I can do in the meantime. So I think I might just prepare a bit of a slideshow and a chat, and I'm hoping that my new camera will turn up as well, and so we can have a little talk through and what's planned, and little bits and bobs with that, see how we go. So yeah, just take you through the kind of development and progress that I'm having with the company, and looking to put its best foot forward in both interaction with the customer base and showing off products in the best light that I kind of can. My personal opinion is it just feels like a lot of companies, individuals or whatever, are just pushing an easy route of just showing off, especially with kind of 3D, the prevalence of 3D, just showing off renders. And I want to swing the total opposite way and just go, look, this is the best that we can put forward for you to see, and to make a justification on whether you want to purchase this product. It's just for me the moral right thing to do, so that you as the customer can get it and understand the quality that I strive to create for you to have. Very important, I think, to have and do. So yeah, but it's also why some of these things take a long while to have, prepare and go into production. There were multiple test prints of the Mastiff, to look to prepare it in the best way as a product, and I'm happy to, I'm happy to take that all on, and if there's something you don't like about a kit, let me know, because if that then affects how a next kit's produced and it makes things easier or better for you, great. It's what I'm all here for. I'm all for improving the models, the experience, and anything I can for you. So yeah, I'm more than happy to take criticism in life. It's the only way you learn. So yeah. All right. Well, I'm gonna let's just pop up. Normally I can press a button for this. I'll tell you what, I need to figure out what happened. I've got to do it the old-fashioned way. Right, so just remember to smash that like button if you're on Facebook, and if you are on Facebook, consider coming over to YouTube, subscribe to the channel, because again, it may only be the occasional stream at the minute, but I've got a lot of cool, interesting, fun plans to try and do, and YouTube is the kind of platform that will support that in a better quality. I will put them up on Facebook because that's obviously where some audience is, but if you want to see it at its best, then YouTube is what I would say is. And then also, if there is anything that you peruse and would like, then if you don't know the web address, then please do pop on by and have a little look at what's on offer. And yeah, I'll be getting some good stock sorted next week. So yeah, thank you for popping by. Big shout out to Duffy, Stuart and Patrick, who have been quite regulars in the stream now, and James and Roy on Facebook for popping by, and Dougie as well. So yeah, thank you very much all. yeah, we'll plan next week's episode. If anyone's got any ideas of what they like, I know obviously Duffy's been mentioning about the casting and stuff, and yeah, I'll look to work something in and around that. It's a little bit noisy because there's obviously machinery and stuff going off, but hey, we can sort all of that and have a bit of fun, and yeah, give you maybe a tour of the unit, because a lot of you wouldn't have seen all that side of things of where everything is done and created. So yeah, just obviously stay safe. Thank you for joining me, and I will catch up with you all in the very next episode. So yeah, have a look out for the Mastiff announcement in the next couple of days for pre-order. Alright, I'll catch up with you all so very, very soon. Take care.